What's going on, champs and champions? It's FireMonkey here, and for today's pre-recorded YouTube video, while I'm at the FNCS competition invitational in person, I wanted just to talk about the current Paradise season, right? Obviously, when this video is coming out, there really shouldn't have been any news. Maybe we got one or two files decrypted or something like that, but I kind of just want to talk about the Paradise season itself right now, and if it was any good, right? So that's why the video was like, so was this season any good? And in my honest opinion, I gotta say I'm kind of mixed on this season when it released and everything like that, and as we continue to play it. Maybe it's just because I've been playing a lot of Fortnite right now, maybe it's because I bought tier 100 day one and I didn't have to worry about the grind as much, but when it comes to how Fortnite's been for me recently with this season, I kind of put it in like a mixed bag, right? It wasn't a bad season by any means, but it wasn't a good season either. Like, it had a very strong start. Let me say it like this. It had an interesting start, don't get me wrong, right? It was an interesting start, there was a lot of new stuff happening. We had vortex tornadoes, we had chrome splashes and all that type of stuff, and I love those gimmicks. I love using chrome splashes and all that type of stuff, because I feel it really adds a lot more variety to the game, even if chrome splashes are basically just portable sand dune tunneling that we had a long time ago. It was nice to see them innovate on that system and add a little bit more to it, make it a little bit nicer and, allow it to have a lot more mobility, allowing you to use it wherever you want and even go on zip lines or whatever in that little blob form. I really like that, but at the beginning of the season, we had the Paradise quest and everything else going on, and then it just kind of slowed down, right? V22.10 came out, there wasn't really much going on with that, we had some skin leaks or whatever, and I gotta admit, some of the skin leaks recently have been really good, and we've had them hype up upcoming skins a part of certain, universes or whatever that are in like mini universes for Fortnite, but when it came to the actual updates itself, the playable parts of the game, I didn't really feel like there was anything too interesting, right? There wasn't really much going on that made me want to play the game. And in fact, I had spent a lot of time only playing the game whenever I wanted to record a YouTube video like this one right here, and I was playing a lot of other stuff instead, right? I just didn't really have any reason to play the game. I had already grinded out the challenges, got level 200, unlocked super level variants, and then when it came to just milestones, weekly challenges, and other stuff like that, there just wasn't much motivation for me, right? It was like some of the stuff just didn't keep me entertained, and there was nothing really in the game to make me want to continue playing it. And then we started getting some more interesting updates. We got the Fortnitemares update, which I thought was honestly very cool, right? I thought, when it first came out, I was like, cool, we got these unique gimmicks or whatever going on. It kind of sucked when they disabled the Howler Claws for a day or two because of some bugs, whatever else going on with it, but they did eventually re-enable those, and we were still able to do challenges. And overall, just like the season was for me, I felt that Fortnitemares was kind of mixed bag. It had a lot of stuff I liked, but there was a lot of stuff that I was kind of meh about. I didn't know if I liked it, I didn't know if I disliked it. It was just kind of there to be there. But of course, it was still a fun experience. I got to make content out of it, and it was a new update for the game, so I continued to play it. So overall, it's like, with the beginning part of the season, right? As we started going to that halfway point and doing everything else, the season just kind of sat in a weird place where I didn't hate it, right? I wasn't like, oh, this is the worst season ever. But I wasn't too big of a fan of it either, right? There was nothing to really keep me entertained or anything to keep me going with it, because it just felt like whatever they did add got pretty stale pretty quickly, and it was just like, oh, this is just normal Fortnite once again, but they decided to bring Horde Rush back with a removed feature or something like that. Now, as we've continued to play Horde Rush and stuff like that, I've been finding a lot of fun just playing this to vibe on with friends or whatever, while also recording YouTube videos, because it's a lot less stressful than playing a bot lobby, a normal lobby, arena mode, or anything like that, and I feel like I can just really chill and, play a very solidly created game mode, and it's nice to see that they kept it going on for a little bit longer. Now, where my fun with the season actually began is with the most recent update, V22.30, because while it didn't really do that much, right, it gave us the Chrome Punk challenges, which gave me a new reason to grind the game. It gave us Pickle Rick for absolutely no reason at all for playing Horde Rush, which I thought was just honestly hilarious, so that was nice to see, and we got a lot of more leaks regarding upcoming little mini events or whatever else. We got the Star Wars event, we had just a lot of events happening all at the same time that I was super excited for, right? Now the Star Wars event's gone now, and the only thing really left for us to do is kind of enjoy weekly challenges and play Horde Rush until it goes with the next update, but we do know based on leaks and everything else that we also are going to be getting like, FIFA World Cup challenges, we're going to be getting Paradise Part 2 finally and stuff like that, so it was just like, now I'm getting hopeful. As we get towards the end of the season, get closer to the live event and everything else, now I'm getting excited. Now I'm starting to really enjoy the season. And that's really the feeling I've gotten from Fortnitemares 2022, or I guess not Fortnitemares, but Chapter 3, Season 4, I think we're in right now as a whole, right? At the beginning, it really wasn't anything too important to me. It was nice to see some collab skins or whatever. I was having fun at first, and then it really died down for me, but in the later updates, we started getting a lot of cool events. We got a lot of collaborations and whatnot going on that really drew me back into playing the game and having some fun with friends during a time when I was really burnt out on Fortnite. So I gotta say, you know, it wasn't a bad season, it wasn't a good season, but it definitely started kicking up and feeling like it was a lot more fun towards the end of the season, and of course we're going to be getting a lot more. Now, I'm still very iffy on how they handled the Paradise narrative questline this season, because what they did, if you guys recall, is they did a part 1, and then they laid low for basically the entire season, only to return in the final update, which is happening on Tuesday, with a part 2 set of challenges that, you know, are going to have voice acting, everything else, and it's just going to hype us up for the actual live event that happens at the end of the season. So it really kind of, you know, felt lackluster, especially with how they've spoiled us in the past by giving us so many challenges basically every week to every other week. It just seemed like they kind of stopped paying attention or focusing on it. Maybe they couldn't get all the voice actors in time or whatever, or maybe they wanted just to try something new. I'm not entirely for sure, but I had to explain to people so many times, it's like, hey, yeah, the Paradise quest lines aren't going to work the same way you might have thought they would have before, and it just made for a lot of confusing times, both for like the active player base and for leakers and everyone else out there who thought they could do part 1 challenges whenever they wanted to, only to find out in the actual calendar endpoints and API datas or whatever that part 1 was only for a limited time, and then once it was gone, it was just gone, right? Like it was a limited event or something like Skywalker Week. So I feel that the like narrative questline this season could have been improved on a little bit more. They could have just used their old methods or whatever else, but of course with a game like Fortnite, the company's always going to try to innovate and try making it better, so I can understand why we might have some good situations with some challenges and why we might have some bad situations later down the line. So I'm just assuming they'll learn from this and make a better system further on as we go into the new seasons. And, like I mentioned at the little bit of like a topic I rambled on about a moment ago, we are getting a live event this season, which I think is one of the reasons that maybe the start of it didn't feel as eventful, right? Maybe the start was kind of lackluster because all the stuff they were working on were really building up to the end of the season when we started getting a lot more of those lore bits coming out, when we started getting a lot more fun things happening, and when we started getting a lot more prep for like event files or whatever else. Now, I will be honestly shocked if they decide to scrap the event because we've seen leaks of it in previous seasons, right? We know that they're working on something, we just don't know what the event's going to be as of yet. I assume it's going to relate to the Herald and the Nothing, which has been having, you know, like a prevalence and just a major pop-up recently in the Fortnite lore this season. But if they really decide to scrap the event, then I think that's going to put a nail in the coffin that I actually did not enjoy this season. Of course, we really got to see and wait to see what happens, but as of right now, you know, I'm just kind of 50-50 on it, so I'd love to hear in the comments down below, what do you guys think about Chapter 3 Season 4? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Are you a mixed bag like me? Or anything else in between? I'm just curious what everyone has to say, and with that said, I'll see you champs and champettes tomorrow with the final pre-recorded video before I return from FNCS and I can vibe once again with the live updates and leaks and whatever else.